So for today's session, we're going to focus on having good posture when you're working on the computer all day, the ways to get yourself set up to have optimal posture, and also stretches that you can do when you take breaks throughout the day that are going to help relieve those areas that start to feel tense. So anytime we do a session like this, it's always nice to first drop in to clear the mind and to start to really sense into our bodies and into our breath. So let's start with a brief little grounding meditation. So even when you're going into a meditation, it's going to be the same posture as when you're setting up to work. So maybe a lot of you know this already, but to take the rounding out of the low back, it's good to prop up the hips. You want the hips to be higher than the knees. So sometimes that can mean sitting on a pillow. And I like to rock from side to side and kind of pull out the fleshy part. And then you'll feel your sit bones more in contact with the earth. If you think of your pelvis like a bowl, you want to think of that bowl being tilted slightly forward, as if it were filled with water, that the water would be slightly cascading over the front. So having that very gentle tilt is what's going to take that rounding out of the low back and allow each vertebrae of the spine to be stacked, one on top of the next, and then the head floating in space. So having this proper alignment should feel like it's not forced, like you're trying to stand up, to sit up straight. It should just feel very natural, like your head is able to float, being balanced, starting from the bottom. So it starts right there at the base of the spine, at the tailbone, and then everything comes up from there. And maybe take your shoulders up and down a few times and let them relax down. Then you can either close the eyes or look down at your lap. The hands are on the knees or thighs. And soften the muscles of the face. Soften the jaw. Sense where your tailbone is touching the chair and where your feet are making contact with the floor. And let this help you come into a sense of grounding, being rooted and connected to the earth. This will help you come into your body and come into the present moment. And then turn your full attention to your breath. Just start watching it. Notice how just by watching it, it starts to become slower and deeper. And try consciously relaxing your belly. And notice how that lets the breath flow all the way down, filling the low belly. Maybe picturing like there's a balloon that's gently expanding and releasing. Let's take 3 cleansing breaths together. As you inhale, shoulders rise up towards the ears. And then as you exhale, exhale through the mouth, shoulders fall. Any sound that wants to come, let it flow out. Let's do that again. Big breath in, shoulders rise. And release. One more. Fill all the way up to the top. And let it go. Very gently blink your eyes open to let the light come in. And notice if even just after those couple minutes of meditation and a couple of deep cleansing breaths, maybe you already feel more present and more relaxed than you did just a few minutes ago. So it doesn't take a lot of time to incorporate this into your day. And remember that anytime throughout your day, if you're feeling stressed, this is always accessible to you. You can always take a second to tap into the sensation of grounding in your body and to tune into the breath. Just by watching the breath, we automatically become more relaxed. And try those cleansing breaths too, especially that exhale, ha, through the mouth. Or even like if you're feeling really stressed, you can even do like a shh, soothing kind of sound, almost like you would soothe a crying baby, to use that to soothe your own emotions. So let's talk about posture from head to toe, and I'll show you a couple stretches. So common areas of discomfort tend to be the neck and shoulders. And a lot of that is because we're leaning forward. We have a tendency to lean forward into our screen, to round our shoulders forward, and for our head to stick forward. So a couple ways to combat this is to get used to what it feels like to be in proper alignment. So you can focus on pressing the head back. Do a couple like this. It looks silly, but you can get the sense of how that feels. Another thing is standing with your back against a wall and letting your head rest against the back of the wall. Just to get into your muscle memory, what it feels like when your head is stacked right on top of the spine and it's not jutting forward. And once you get the sense of how that feels and you are getting more in touch with your body, it's all about having awareness so that when you slip into old patterns and into old habits that aren't serving you, that you notice it immediately and you're able to shift into something that's going to serve you better. So to stretch out those sore neck muscles, you can drop one ear over to the shoulder, let the hand come to rest on top of the head, and then the opposite shoulder, let it hang heavy down by your side so the arm can actually hang off the edge of the chair. And breathe here, those long, slow, deep breaths. And turn the nose to point down towards the floor. So you can feel how that gets a little more into the back of the neck. And use the hand to gently lift the head back to center and let it keep falling all the way over to the other side. And again, the hand can come to rest. So we're not pulling here, we're just adding a little bit of extra weight to encourage a deeper opening. Opposite shoulder falls away heavy. Breathe here. And any of these stretches, when you're doing them, when you exhale, you can imagine softening that area even more and any tension beginning to dissolve away. Just keeping the head to the side, just turn the nose to point down. And head lifts back to center. And then doing a couple rolls. So you can either do a half roll here where you just go ear to shoulder, dropping chin forward to the chest, and over to the other shoulder, and continuing forward and side. If you want to do a circle, I just recommend that you not drop the head all the way back. These vertebrae in the neck are sensitive, so we just do a gentle arc up to the sky and around. And let yourself move slowly. When you're stretching, this is not the time to be rushing through anything. This is the moment that you're giving yourself to slow down. And then with the chin parallel to the floor, turn the head from side to side. And I know all these stretches feel really good and you probably want to keep doing it for longer, but I want to show you a bunch of different things today. So when you're practicing on your own, you can definitely do as long as you want with each of these. And coming to center, and then let's do some shoulder rolls forward. So we come up and forward and down and back. Again, allow yourself to move slow here. And then you can change direction, coming up and back and down and forward. And another thing that I love here for these trapezius muscles right here that connect from the neck and the shoulder is to give it a squeeze. So it's like you're giving yourself a little self massage here. So you can take your fingers and massage that area and squeeze it as if you were squeezing a sponge. Any tension, imagine that you're squeezing it out and it's releasing all the way, flowing down the back. Beautiful. And let's look at our hands. So we do a lot of motions that are kind of like a gripping motion. So this could be driving, this could be on your phone, and then of course typing on your computer as well, where the fingers are curved this way. So we want to reverse that, taking the fingertips together and taking the elbows out to the side, press in and feel that beautiful opening deep in the fingers and into the palms. And keep breathing through every stretch. We never want to force to the point of pain. These stretches are not about trying to press and, get really deep into it. It's more about softening and allowing the body to open up naturally on its own. And let's stretch into the wrist. So you can take fingers pointed down. First stretching this way, you'll feel the stretch all along the top of the wrist here. And then turn, fingers pointed up. And the arm can be stretched out long and straight. Release. Let's take second side, fingers pointed down, and you'll use your opposite hand to get that stretch. And take the fingers up. Release, and then some big circles here with the wrists. Going one way and then reverse direction, go the other way. And shake it out. And let's also look at how we can, so like we said, we're gonna try to get away from anything that's rounding forward. So taking the shoulders back, and letting the chest come forward. So you could take the hands to the side of the chair or maybe on the back of the chair and stretch, looking up to the sky. Shoulders are back, heart is forward. Breathe here. And if you want to do the stretch here where it's more of a breath and movement combination, you can inhale as you come forward. And then as you exhale, the shoulders round and the back sticks out. So you're almost exaggerating that forward posture. And then coming heart forward, shoulders back, looking up. And then the head drops, stretching through the upper back. Allow the spine to round. Option here to add the arms. Big breath in, arms expand. And as you draw it in, give yourself a hug. Let the head bow. One more like that. Big breath in, open up through the chest. And round forward. Give yourself a pat on the back. You're doing a great job. Remember, you're always doing the best you can. It's good to give yourself little pep talks. If you're not going to do it, who is? So another part of this rounded shoulders forward comes from a lot of tension here in the chest and the pectoral muscles. So I recommend using a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball and giving yourself some massage here in this area. If you find somewhere that feels tender, you can always hold it there and breathe into that tightness. And again, as you inhale, you're imagining filling up that area with the breath. And then as you exhale, imagine that area softening every time. Okay, another thing when we're working on the computer all day is eye strain. So we're looking at something that's very close for an extended period of time. So just as it's important to give the rest of your physical body breaks, it's important to give your eyes a break as well. So the easiest way to do this is just to look off at something that's in the distance. And I would also recommend doing these kind of eye stretches. So let's do that together. So look up to one corner of the room and then go across the diagonal and look down to the other corner. So keep your head still as you do this, only the eyes are moving. So let's go across that same diagonal, up and over to the corner, and then down and across opposite. And one more like that, up and over and down. And then close your eyes, let them rest. And blink the eyes open. Let's go the opposite way. So up and over to the opposite corner and down and across. Even this, right? You can really feel the eye muscles working. I know I can. And down and across, do one more. And close the eyes. I don't think we often think about this, keeping our eyes healthy and making them literally stronger, like making the muscles stronger by doing exercises. You can blink them open, and then you can take the eyes in a circle. So look up and draw a big circle all the way around the room. Go 3 one direction. And then change 3 circles in the opposite direction. And let the eyes close and relax. and blink them open. A couple other stretches that I'd like to share that are really helpful for the back and the side body. You can reach one arm overhead. Let the opposite hand be on the side of the chair. And keeping your sit bones grounded, feel like you're reaching up and out from the hips as you lean over to one side. Big breath in goes into those intercostal muscles, all here along the rib cage. Sense how actually the breath is what's stretching the body. And come back to center. Let's flow right to the other side. And up. And then coming into a twist. You can inhale, reach both arms overhead. Twist to one side, hand comes to knee, opposite hand comes behind you. Use your core muscles here to help you sit tall. And then you'll initiate the twist from the bottom of the spine. Taking another breath in, sitting tall. And gently deepen the twist. And one more like that, sitting tall. And then the head turns, look behind you. And slowly release to center. Inhale, arms overhead. And go right to the other side. Again, use your core, initiate from the low spine. Second breath, sitting a little taller. And twisting from the middle back. And one more breath in. And turning from the upper back, head looks behind you. And releasing back to center. So one more thing I wanted to mention about that rounded forward posture that you can do. So again, it can be aggravated by tension here in the chest, in the pec muscles, and also from having weakness in the upper back muscles. So even just a simple exercise, like if you have an exercise band, pulling that like this, even without any props at all, you can just put your arms up like this, like a goalpost or a cactus arms, and do these presses back with the arms. So do a few like this. So you're squeezing the shoulder blades together behind the body. And when you strengthen those upper back muscles, that's going to help you to sit taller. And relax the arms down. So the suggestion here from, doing like any kind of workplace wellness is to do a 20-20-20, they call it, which would be that every 20 minutes you stand up for just 20 seconds, and that you also rest your eyes and look at a distance, like we mentioned, so that you're not just like only looking close, but that you're looking far away. So it would be an estimated 20 feet, just as a way to remember it. So you can do 20-20-20 every 20 minutes. You take a break for 20 seconds and move your body in some of these stretches, and then also let your gaze be 20 feet away. For me personally, I love dance. It's my favorite thing to do. So I would say once an hour, maybe at the top of the hour, and this could be really fun actually if you were in an office environment, but you can do it yourself at home too, of course. Maybe like you play a song every hour at the top of the hour, and you get up and dance for however long the song is, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. I love that. And and it doesn't have to be like any certain kind of dance moves, just literally like freely moving your body in whatever way feels good. It can incorporate any of these stretches that we did in this class, or just any kind of free form movement that's getting the body out of sitting still in this certain posture the whole time and letting it open and be fluid. And once you start to get more in touch with the sensations of your body will tell you where it needs to move and how it needs to move to get things opened and to get things flowing. And so even, when you're really busy, it might feel like, oh, well, I can't even take 3 minutes, or I can't take a 20-second break or a 30-second break. But the thing is, besides your overall physical wellness, it actually is going to help you to focus better when your body feels better, and also to get your blood flowing, which makes your brain work better. So I hope that you feel inspired to incorporate some of these into your workday. And I send you many blessings for wellness.